You know, there's something about horsepower and barbecuing, motors, compression, they all go together, you know? It's like, in order to have a good barbecue, you gotta have the same thing you need in order to have a combustion motor work. And that is air, right? Spark, and fuel. It's just those three things that make everything work. Welcome back to Hot Chick Stoner Barbecue. We had so much fun the first time we decided to come on back for a second helping. Y'all know I love barbecuing. Well, I also love hot rods, so we just decided to mix it all up. So, let's go check out some grills. I'm going to show y'all how to start a smoker. This is a smoker slash barbecuer. So we're going to start a fire in the firebox, which is here, and then go ahead and start another fire in the grill part, which is here, and we'll just kind of take it from there. So this is a coal starter, and I've got some paper already in the bottom here. And you take some paper and you just kind of shred it up like so. Here, fill up the canister with briquettes. Kingsford briquettes, and actually Kingsford comes from the Ford Motor Company. They have a little history on charcoal back here, so it's a little horsepower and everything today. And we have little holes down here. Go ahead and just light newspaper through the holes and little slabs. I want to see some fire. Usually when I'm barbecuing and wrenching, I keep my barbecue pretty far away from the cars. This is kind of an exception today, just because you're playing with fire and gas and all sorts of shit like that. So it'd be a real bummer if your barbecue caught your car on fire. So just a note. All right, so it looks like they've started. You just go ahead and let them smoke for a while. Once you see flames coming out of the top, you're gonna know they're ready, and we'll go from there. These suckers have been lit for probably about 20 minutes or so. As you can see in this canister, the smaller one, all the coals are nice white. So this is the tricky one with the trap door. You can take that and they'll come out the bottom. This thing's really hot, so be careful where you set it. Once we have these going, we want to go ahead and start our oak fire in the firebox. So to do that, we're just gonna start with a couple little pieces and set them across like that. Once these get going a little better, I'm gonna dump some more coals on top and spread them out, but I think we're good to go right now. Leave the lids up for now, get the heat going, and that's about it. Okay, so we've got a lot of coals in here and they're really, really hot, so we're just gonna spread them out a bit. And it's too hot to cook on right now, but it's a perfect time to burn all of last night's feast off. So this is our trusty mechanic and gloves. You know, mechanic, barbecue, and it all goes together. And now we're gonna go ahead and close this lid, bring down the temperature, and crack our smokestack a little bit. Remember, all this stuff is really hot, so use your gloves. And then we're gonna come over to the smoke box. And we're gonna shut this bitch down, and then we have a vent over on the side that we're just gonna crack halfway, and that'll help bring the temperature down a bit. So now we probably got about 15 minutes, and this is a good time to kind of prep everything, throw your potato packets together. All right. Potato packets because they're extremely low maintenance. I wish my rides were that low maintenance, but you know, when you drive a lot of horsepower, you got to maintain it. All right, so we got a bunch of russet potatoes here. I like to use russet potatoes because they're cheap, and you got to stick with cheap ingredients when you have hot rods. The reason for that is that you want to spend your money on your parts. All right, so we've got them pretty coarsely chopped. We're going to throw some sea salt on top of these potatoes and some black pepper. Good amount of black pepper. Some oregano, dried oregano that is. Some garlic powder. Love garlic. If you don't like garlic and onions, you probably won't like my cooking. Some cayenne pepper, because I like it spicy. Some coarsely chopped fresh garlic. I always peel and chop my own garlic. Now I know there's this whole thing going on out there where you can buy chopped garlic. To me it tastes like shit. It's sweet and you lose all the flavor, you lose all the vitamins, and what's the fucking point? Put some time into your food. Put some time into your ride and put some time into your food. Be proud of what you do, you know? Some chopped red bell pepper. You can throw anything into this mix, whatever is ripe at the time. So use a lot of basil. It grows in your backyard next to all the other herbs you grow real easily. So it also kind of blends in, and basil tastes great. And some chopped red onion. Red onion's a little sweeter than yellow onion, so I like to use that in my potato packets. And then you douse it with olive oil. You don't want it to stick to the aluminum foil, so you want to use a lot of olive oil, and it helps keep all your ingredients moist. So, okay, oil is really important when you're playing with horsepower and when you're playing with food. You want to keep everything lubricated. Very, very important. Now, it's also very important to use a high grade of oil. Now, there's a lot of synthetic oil out there. There's also a lot of crap olive oil. So use extra virgin olive oil, and I choose 1040 synthetic in my rides. All right. Okay, so all of our chopped ingredients are in our big ass bowl. Now you just stick your clean hands in the bowl and mix it all together. I love playing with my food like I love playing with my rides. So you just want to make sure everything is coated in the olive oil and the herbs, yellow peppers. I'm making this pretty mild today because I'm feeding a lot of people, and I know that some folks out there tend to have a little case of honky mouth, and I don't want anybody's asshole to blow out. So I already blew up one rear end this month, so I don't want to blow up another one. All right. So I use a lot of aluminum foil when I'm cooking away from my house, and a little recommendation I can kind of put out to everybody who goes to junkyards and wrenches and looks for parts and has an idea of barbecuing is bring aluminum foil and try to get all your ingredients prepped before you come down. Just make your life as easy as possible. Something I learned from pulling a motor at a buddy of mine's house, total bachelor dude, and I had this brilliant idea that we'd pull the motor and then I'd go ahead and cook, and I walked into his kitchen and there was one dull knife, there was no aluminum foil, there was no salt, no pepper, all my bro had was ketchup. So from here on out, I just go ahead and prep everything myself. Now, aluminum foil is extremely important when you're barbecuing. It's also extremely important when you're playing with horsepower. The lighter your car is, the faster it goes. Now, if you want to really go balls out, you can go ahead and get aluminum heads. On my 396 big block, that's going to lighten my car up by about 100 pounds. Now, that's huge. I also use aluminum foil when I'm cooking. It's light, it's pliable, and it's cheap. When I make these potato packets, I usually use 2 or 3 layers of aluminum foil, just because you don't want it to burn through. Now, oftentimes your potatoes are going to go ahead and get stuck on the bottom of this, but don't worry about it. It's no big deal. Everything on top will be fine. So I'm just going to use 2. And this is how we do it. We grab a good handful, like so, put it in the middle. Isn't that beautiful? Remember, my darlings, fat is flavor. Cut a hunk of butter, put it on top of the potatoes. Now, when you're wrapping these up, you want to be able to get access to them later, so you don't want to go with some crazy wrap. So just bring it up, fold it over, bring it up, fold it over, and it's done. We got a lot of potatoes, so we got a lot of packets to make, but I'll go ahead and go through that one more time. You can get an idea. You go 1 and 2, grab a handful, put it in the middle, another pat of butter. Oh yeah, love butter. Bring it up like so. Remember, you don't want it too complicated. A couple of our potato packets are done. We're going to go ahead and go over to the grill, check it out, and throw these bad boys on. Always kind of tap your handle and check it before you grab it. Sometimes it can get pretty hot, but this feels good, so we'll just go ahead and lift this up. Our cue's at, oh, it's pretty damn hot, but it ain't too bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's hot, but it's ready to cook. So the way I do the potato packets, because they do take a while, and you don't want to have to keep monitoring them, just kind of line the edge of your barbecue with them. All right, so now those are on. We want to check our smoke box. See how I just got smoked out with that? You always kind of want to open it and then stand away before you stick your face in there. It's a lesson that I still haven't learned, but this is going to give our food a nice smoky flavor. It looks like it's burning at a pretty low temperature, which is what we want. We're going to go ahead and throw another piece of wood on the fire, put a fire under its ass, close our lid, line our cue with potato packets, and move on to the beer boat.
This is Tabitha. This is my 73 Cougar. Recently got the new rims and tires, so I got the Hot Wheels wheels. Got this all original interior. She's pretty clean inside. The white Naugahyde bucket seats. But there's some cute stuff in here. You know, in here you got like your Coke light right here. It's pretty sweet. I got this baby for $850 at City 2 auction. Put a bunch of work into her, dual exhaust, turbo muffler, chrome tips, little paint job at night. You can see you might be able to see in the sunlight, the pearl on the paint job there. 351 Cleveland's under the hood. V8. And she makes me happy. But I was really lucky to find this one though. I love it. This is a 75, but it's got a front end like a 76, 77. I think it's off a Sprint actually. Yeah, this is my second El Camino actually. I got this one about a week ago, and I just drove it up here from LA this morning. Yeah, it's been lowered. It's got a 350, it's a 400 transmission. It's got a gear drive as well, P. Jackson gear drive, instead of a timing chain. And a brand new quadrijet in it. And it's got one of those ridiculous little racing wheels in it. I got it from this old biker in San Bernardino. The best thing about it, I was like, you know, can I get the keys from you? And he said the keys in the ignition. And I said, what about the door key? And he pulls this out of his pocket. And he said, well, this is what I've been using. He's like, so you just take that, you put it in your pocket. You should be carrying a knife anyway. So there you go.
Is that your key?
This is my key, yeah. I haven't replaced the lock yet, so. I've actually had an accident with the key already, too. Yeah.
So here's another one of my favorite junkyard recipes. Beer boat sausage, another very low maintenance recipe. We have some raw Italian sausages here. This recipe works best with raw sausage. That way the sausage absorbs the taste of the beer and the onions. Now I have some hot Italian sausages and some mild Italian sausages. So we want to go ahead and just disconnect them. This is as simple as it gets. Again, aluminum foil. Want a few big sheets. I usually layer this 3 or 4 times depending on how hot my barbecue is and where I'm going to place them. My barbecue is real full, so I'm going to probably place them in the middle. So I'm going to put 4 layers of foil down. It's real important not to let the foil burn through. Now, you make a little boat. This is handy wherever you go. You just kind of roll the edges up, like so. You want them rolled up high enough so that the beer doesn't spill over. Now we're going to start with the hot sausages, so you just go ahead and place them in there. The length of this boat usually accommodates 1 packet of sausages. You don't want to cram them too full because you want to be able to grab them and turn them and play with them a bit. And grab some coarsely chopped yellow onion. You want to keep it coarsely chopped because it's really yummy to throw on top of the sausages once it's done. All right, and now my favorite part, the beer. Beer. Always make sure you bring lots of beer wherever you go. It's always important to cook with beer. Your little Italian sausages are swimming in beer. They're about to get fucked up. Go ahead and put them right on your grill. Fold the edges up again. Oh, gorgeous. Ta-da! One's done. Now, that's one way to do it, and if you're real smart, this is another way to do it. You take your foil right over to your barbecue, fold it up, put them on the barbecue, grab your sausages, throw your onions in there, bada boom, bada bing, and now beer. Made me work up a little thirst. That way you don't have to transport them, you know. You don't have to move from table to grill with your beer and have everything spill over. But you can do it either way. This food is really low maintenance. At this point, you can walk away from it. This is a good time to kind of fuck around with your car, do whatever you need to do. Sometimes when you're wrenching, you get in a groove and you gotta finish this thing before you can get out from under your car or climb out of the engine compartment or whatever the hell you're doing. That's why I like cooking this type of food when I'm wrenching, because the likeliness of it burning is very low. You don't want to come back to your food tasting like burnt gear oil. And if any of you know what burnt gear oil smells like, you have a pretty good idea of what it tastes like. I'm just going to close the lid, open the vent a little bit, check my firebox, stand to the side, open it. I think I want to see a little more flame coming up. This has a little sneaky door over here, so I'm going to go ahead and open it about halfway. Now we have about 30 minutes or so before these guys are done. We'll come back and check on them in a few, but let's go play with our cars.
Hi, I'm Vicky, and today I'm going to show you how to change spark plugs. I've been working on cars for about 8 years. I've been working for Oakland Broadway Ford for about 2.5, and today I'm going to be working on my 63 Mercury Meteor. The basic thing you want to start with is getting the right spark plugs for your car. And you can go into just about any Kragen or any parts store and find a manual, something like this, and you open it up and you find your car in here. Now they're going to have the make and then a model or an engine size and your year. So in this case I have a Mercury, and it's between the years 62 and 69, and then down here it says all, so I know I can follow it over here and I can look at this number, BF42C. So I get my spark plug and I find BF42C. This book is also going to tell me what my gap is. So I look here and it says my gap is 0.035. So I get my plug out, and if you have an 8-cylinder, you want to get 2 packs of 4. If you have a 6-cylinder, you want to get 6 spark plugs. So you pull your plug out, and then you have a gapper. I like to use both of these in combination. This one is really easy to slide in right here, and it says 0.03, and then this halfway mark is the 5. Now if I needed to make this gap either larger or smaller, I would take this tool and either bend it back or bend it forward until the gap was correct. So then I come over here and you want to twist your cable and then pull back as you're twisting, and it'll pop out. You want to do these one at a time. Don't ever pull them all out at the same time, because you won't be able to figure out where they go back and you're going to end up with some problems. The next thing you do is you find out which socket you're going to need. There's only 2. Those sizes are 13/16 and 5/8. These are special sockets that have rubber inside. In this case, I need 13/16. You can check that just by sticking your spark plug into the socket, making sure it fits correctly. So then you come down to the spark plug, put your socket on, take your ratchet. This has an extension on it. And the first turn is going to be a little stiff, but once you get past that first turn, it's going to come out real easy. You can actually take the socket off and just twist with your fingers in most cases. Okay, so you got your old plug out. Take that old one out of your socket. Take the new plug. Stick it in your socket. Come in. You want to make sure those threads are going in real easy. It shouldn't be hard to turn it first. And you just turn it by hand as much as you can until it starts getting stiff. And then you come back with your ratchet. You put your ratchet back on. And you tighten down. Now, a lot of people get caught up in if it's too tight or not tight enough, you know. In the business, we just say TIT tight. TIT tight, tit tight. They just say tight, TIT tight, which just basically means when you can feel it and you put some pressure on it, but you don't want to wrench it down to where you're putting all your force. You just want to make sure that it's snug in there. And you take your socket off. You can get real oily in here. All right. You put your camo back on. You're all set. You do that 7 more times and you're all done. And that's how you change a plug.
When you're cooking a lot of sausages, and if you happen to bring a pot with you, you can just throw them in a big pot with the same kind of idea. The sausages, beer, onions. The red ones are hot, the gray ones are mild. It's probably been closer to an hour since we threw this on, but like I said, this isn't really time sensitive. Looks like the sausages are getting nice and drunk in our beer boat. They're looking pretty firm. And we're gonna go ahead and pull one of these big ass potato packets off. I'm gonna use my trusty mechanic's gloves here. Open that up. Damn, that's beautiful. Really good. Poke with the fork. It's nice and soft. They're hot. The nice thing about these guys is that they'll stay warm in the foil. And you can also use this, once they cool down a bit, you can kind of use them as a plate. You can open it up, eat right out of it, grab your sausage, walk around. Sometimes when you're at the racetrack, you're in a fucking hurry, man. You know, you gotta do some suspension adjustments, or you did something stupid like put a quadrajet carburetor on your car and you really wanna go with a 4-barrel Holly, so you just ran your heat. Your car didn't run the way you want it to. You got 45 minutes to pull the car, put a new one on, go get gas, and eat. So you can run around and do all of that with this. So we're gonna go ahead and throw these in a bowl. You just freed up some space on your barbecue by doing that. And the reason you wanna do that is you wanna move your boat over to the side like so. And even though these sausages are ready to eat right now, they don't look real appealing. They look kind of, you know, bloated and drunk, and that may be fine if you're good and bloated and drunk, but I like to score them a little bit on the barbecue. So we're just gonna go ahead and throw them right on the grill, get some nice marks on there. And just leave your boat on the grill while you're doing this. And it looks like our little Italians drank a lot of beer. So we're gonna go ahead and grab a couple more cans of beer and dump it in the boat. And we should be good to go in a couple minutes. So just leave your lid open. Might as well check the firebox while we're at it. Ashes. It looks good. All right, so I'm gonna grab a beer to dump in the boat, maybe one to dump in me, and I'll be right back. Oh man, that looks so good. The butter's totally melted. All the spices have soaked into the potatoes. They're hot as Hades. And good. I think everybody's gonna enjoy this. All right, so we've got a little flame going. Once I open this up, it got a lot more heat, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. Check that out. Now that looks appetizing. So I'm just gonna flip them over. They're getting nice and browned. All right, so these are nicely browned as well, and back in the beer they go. We'll go ahead and keep the mild in the mild boat. the spicy in the spicy boat. Look at that, perfect. And it's done. I'm gonna tell everybody to grab their own bun, dress it up the way they like, grab their own sausage, but I'm gonna take this little fucker away from here because I can just see right through the foil, beer all over the coals, ashes everywhere, and our food fucked up.
All right, so for junkyard juice, you need a pitcher. And since you're usually low on ice at a junkyard party, I've opted to just put the ice in the cups and save this for the liquor. So I've got Mr. Kool-Aid, nice mid-sized bottle of Jim Beam. First things first, put in the beam. I'd say we're gonna use the whole thing. We're gonna fill this jug. Well, that's all right, because it's gonna be poured on ice. All right, yes. And then because we're classy ladies, a little Italian class. Let's give it a nutty flavor, but not too much. Tina will do the rest of the shots. Then because it's a hot day, a little peach nectar. Okay, just help it. And then give us a little bit of fizzy. Keep it hot. Top it off. Stir it up. A little scared. And then we put them in our festive glasses. Ladies, please start helping yourselves. Oh, pardon me. Oh, a little more here.
Oh, tasty. Tasty.
Oh.
I'll take a sip of junkyard juice. What's in junkyard juice?
So what was
A
it?
little bit of this, a little elbow grease. Whoa. And some other stuff.
Woo!
Junkyard juice.
This is my bike.
You know just simple guy, but I'm not whining woman by my side. Getting fresh water from a man's stream, you can keep that city and you know about people dreams.
71 Triumph Trophy, 500. I love my bike. Me and Billy Jack have the same bike. He was a big influence. No, I'm just kidding. My bike's great, sounds great, and it kicks ass over those Italian crotch rockets over there. That's right, I'm sure I'll be getting in trouble now for saying that over here.
Like, I'm lazy, so I don't really take care of the car, but I think that is actually working out pretty good because you can see that around the decal there's all this rust. See how you have to get close? See how beautiful it is? Like all the rust, like especially up here. The rust. So actually I kind of think it looks pretty good the more it deteriorates. That's all there is here. Oh, you should point out the wheels, the honeycomb wheels. Snowflake wheels. It's all pretty special. We got the chrome, the gold plate dashboard. Normal racing wheels. I think it's all stock. Sheepskin seats that are deteriorating. The sheep will be dead by now.
So what I'm going to do here is we're going to do some beer can chicken. And what I've already done is I've kind of marinated this. It's better if you can do it overnight with some paprika and some cayenne pepper, some garlic salt, got some oregano. I'll just do a little bit more just to get it good and going. You want to try to get it up underneath the skin because the skin tends to tends to dry out a little bit when it's barbecuing. Take a little bit of this oregano. Stuff it up under there, especially for the breast. You want to get the breast nice and juicy. For a final touch, you want to put some brown sugar just to make it have that nice little sweet taste. The breast is the most important part. So what we're going to do here is you got a church key. I'm going to do this right here. Take a regular can of old Budweiser. You want to take a couple of drinks out of it. Then you want to pop a couple holes in there. The church key, you want to make extra holes in the top so when the heat will make the beer boil, and it gives it more room to escape than the regular hole.
This here is a carburetor. It's a slight modification on your No More Can beer. Increases the intake and flow, like this. Makes a smooth stream all the way through the sip. Not bad.
So what you do, hold this chicken up like that. Make sure all the giblets and everything are out of it. You just shove it up in there. So now this is beer can chicken. We're gonna go put it on the grill. Okay, so what you wanna do with the coals, you wanna set up a ring, like a perimeter around the grill. It's kind of like indirect heat. And the chickens will sit in the center and the heat will come around the chickens and cook them. Make them just like they're hanging out on there ready to go.
Babies have been on here for about 2 hours. I'm gonna say they're done. What do you think? The meat's falling off the bone. So we'll just go ahead and pick them up in our trusty Budweiser can. Take them on over to the plate. Remove the beer. Look at that. So check this out. Fucker, see? Give me my goddamn glove. Anybody in the mood for a little kicking? Yeah. You do not touch an exhaust manifold with bare hands, and you do not touch a beer can chicken with bare hands. Eat me, eat me. That's a sign when your beer can chicken's done. The meat just falls off the bone. It's called kicking because the last thing a chicken was doing before it died was kicking. And we're gonna pick at this here kicking.
spicy. I smoked the lead. Oh shit, it's gonna happen again. Liken it to a dick magnet. It's true. They like it. And none of them can drive it. This is a 96 Corvette. I have feelings much like a mother might have for a child. Very clean, very clean.
That's fucking drum. That's some Batman shit.
My baby.
So this is number 16. She's a beaut. She's my baby. She's number 2 actually. The first one got totaled in a very, very traumatic incident. So this is number 2. Number 2, she has her problems, but all in all, she's a sweet ride.
We're rolling on to gorgonzola-filled burgers. Woohoo! Now, this is a little bit more complicated than everything else I've cooked, but my car's tuned up. Now I can kick back and actually barbecue, relax, and enjoy some highfalutin food. So, we're gonna start with chopped sirloin. If you're getting your beef from under cellophane, you're getting it from the wrong place. A buddy of mine's a butcher and he went and chopped this for me. So this is chopped sirloin. Check that out. It's nice and lean. So you want your meat to look pretty pink and not too marbleized. I've said in the past that fat is flavor and fat is flavor, but if you get hamburger meat that has too much fat, it's gonna just shrivel up into nothing. So try to get really lean hamburger meat. We're gonna go ahead and douse it with some sea salt, some cayenne pepper, some garlic powder, dried oregano. You can see that I'm using all the same spices that I did in the potato packets. One thing when you're out here in the junkyard or anywhere you're camping, you're going to Hollister to ride dirt bikes, you're going down to the track to race, just try to keep it simple. Make sure everything you cook, you can use all the same spices. It helps a lot, believe me. Black pepper, and if you're just missing any of these ingredients, it's no big deal. Chopped onions, check this out. Finely chopped onions. Like I said, if you don't like onions and garlic, you probably won't like my cooking. Finely chopped garlic. I love Worcestershire sauce. Lots of Worcestershire. Lowry seasoned salt. Again, something I love. And 1 egg. The thing with egg and hamburgers is it helps the burgers to stay together. You know, otherwise you're gonna get really lean hamburger meat that just falls apart. So the egg helps it stick. All right. So, now we just get our hands in there and mush it all together. You can kind of check out the color as you're going. This still looks a little pink to me. I'll probably add some more Worcestershire here in a minute. It feels so good. It's nice and cool in this heat. Make sure everything's nice and mixed in. I use the same bowl that I mixed the potatoes in. I didn't use meat in the potatoes, so the bowl wasn't really contaminated. It was more like seasoned. So, you know, sometimes when you're out at the track, you don't really have water to waste on washing dishes, so try to make your meat dishes last if you're using the same bowl. All right, that's looking pretty good. That looks pretty to me. All right, so now we've got everything mixed together and we're ready to roll them out. I use wax paper in this case. I personally am not a huge fan of waxing my car, just because if you need to put another clear coat on your paint job after you've waxed it, it's a real bitch to do. And another thing with waxing your vehicle, if you do choose to do it in the sun, make sure you rub it all in quick. However, if you are going to wax your vehicle, try not to do it in the sun and make it a quick process. So now you know. All right, so we're gonna start rolling out our patties. This is kind of a two-step process. So you get a nice little baseball size ball going here. Put it on your wax paper, flatten it out. Make a little indentation in the middle there. Take a pinch of gorgonzola. Take another pinch of hamburger meat. Roll it. Put it on top like so. Pick it up. Make a nice ball with it. You don't want your gorgonzola cheese to come through the burger while it's cooking, so make sure it's nice and sealed. Flatten it down and move on to the next one. Take about a baseball size shifter. You don't want it to be too thin on the bottom. You don't want your gorgonzola to seep through and burn. It won't taste as good. So you make an indentation like so. Fill that with gorgonzola cheese. Beautiful. Another pinch of meat. Put it on top. And then seal it up. Just make sure you play with your meat and seal it up. All right. I don't think any of y'all have a problem playing with your meat after seeing this. So just go ahead and put these bad boys right on here. We've got a pretty high bed of coals here, so I'm just gonna kind of put them around the outside. The nice thing about having oak in the firebox is it's gonna add a nice smoky flavor to the meat. It's gonna turn this really pretty kind of crimson red. It's gonna take me about 15 minutes to cook these burgers, and I think it'll take Joanne about 12.5 minutes to change the oil in her Cougar. So let's see if it all works out. We're just gonna go ahead and shut her down, and let's change our oil.
All right, so before we do the oil change, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna jack up my car. Because the oil pan nut is on the driver's side of the vehicle, I'm gonna jack up the car on the passenger side. That way, when the car's up on one side, the oil will drain more easily out. So I've got this great 8-ton hydraulic jack here. Unfortunately, the best place for me to put this is a little difficult to get underneath, so I have my handy-dandy assistants right here. What they're gonna do is they're gonna lift this up for me so I can just squeeze this underneath here and get this under the frame. So, ready, you guys? Lift up, hold it, and bring it back down slowly, and perfect. Great. So now I got a good spot for my jack. Thank you, ladies. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna jack this up. Remind you of anything? You wanna get the jack stand underneath the frame here. I'm trying to find a spot you want to get it pretty close to where the jack is, not too far away. And now we're gonna pull this out and we're gonna back it off and bring it down onto the jack. So there she goes. So now we're safe. We got this baby on the jack stand and we're ready to do the oil change. We want to make sure we got all our tools here. We got our wrench, got the 7/8 here, the right size for my oil pan nut. Couple of oil pan wrenches, just wanted to show a couple different ones. We've got the ring wrench here and we have this snap-on wrench here. Today I'm going to be using this one. We've got our new oil filter. You always want to make sure you change your oil filter every time you do an oil change. Very important. And we've got our oil right here. I've got 5 quarts, make sure I've got enough. 2050 here because my car's got a few miles on her, over 75,000. And got my funnel right here for ease of putting the oil in later, and my oil pan. And before we go underneath, what I want to do is I'm going to take the oil pan cap off over here. That'll make sure that the oil will drain faster. So we're going to get down here to the oil pan nut and we're going to loosen this up. We got our oil pan in place, catch the oil. Now I can hand loosen it, and you want to make sure you don't drop the nut into the pan. There goes the oil. And as you can see, my oil is very black, which means I definitely need an oil change. Generally, you want to change your oil every 3 months, 3,000 miles, a little bit more you can get away with, but you really can't change your oil too frequently, so better to do it more often than not. You want to make sure you put your nut somewhere where you're not going to lose it. Now I'm going to come in here and get to the filter. Now I'm going to grab one of my wrenches. I chose to use my ring wrench here. So these ring wrenches are pretty easy to use. Let's see. Put it on the end here, generally easiest. And then the oil's going to start coming out. Should be able to take this out by hand now. I'm doing this. Most of the oil's already come out of the oil pan. And here it goes. So there's your old filter. And one thing you want to remember is you want to make sure that this ring right here is still attached. You want to make sure it didn't stay stuck up there. So we got our gasket right here. That's important. We could just drop this in here. So you want to make sure your oil is close by, your fresh oil. First thing you want to do is you want to oil up this ring right here, this gasket. So stick our finger in there in the fresh oil. Get that nice and moved up. You want to make sure you get a nice seal there when you put this on. And like I mentioned before, really important that the old one is not stuck up there, otherwise you're going to have a major oil leak. So we got the new filter on here. We're going to hand tighten it. You're going to tighten it as much as you can. Just hand tight is good. Now we need to find our nut. Want to make sure you replace that oil pan nut. Get our wrench. Switch that over to tighten. Tighten this baby up. You want to tighten that really well. Alright. Get that tight. You don't want to strip it. You get it to get a nice fit there with the wrench. Alright, so now we're ready to put the oil in. Very important. One of the other reasons why we took this cap off earlier is to remind yourself to make sure you put the oil in. So if you go attend to burgers or whatnot, you don't, think you already put the oil in and, ruin your engine. So here, we're going to put our funnel right here. Then we're going to pull out this dipstick over here, and that'll help burp it. And that'll basically help the oil go in a little more quickly there. We're going to grab the oil that we had already opened earlier and start pouring that in. So I've got 5 quarts here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with 4 quarts, and we're going to check our level after 4 quarts. So Excellent. Now what we're gonna do is we want to check the level. Well, we need to do that. Close this back up. Like that. Put the dipstick back down. Then I'm gonna start her up. I'm gonna start her up, let her run for a couple minutes, get the oil pumping through the engine, and then we're gonna check the level. There's a good chance it'll still be low. We'll probably need to add one more quart, but we don't want to overfill, so we want to check it after 4 quarts. So we're gonna come over here, pull out the dipstick, and wipe this off. You got your add line and the safe line. You want to be somewhere in between there. Wipe that off. Pull that back out. Probably going to be a bit low. And as I predicted, yeah, it looks like we're about a quart low. So that's fine. You just want to make sure you're not overfilling. So we're going to add our 5th quart here. Go ahead and pull that out again for the burping action. So you made sure that was all tightened up. Levels were great on the dipstick. Put that back in. This is all great right here. Only thing left is to make sure we discard the oil in the old filter properly. So you want to make sure you got a plastic bag here for your oil filter. Pull that out. Nice and messy here. Drain that a bit. Put it on here. Then you want to make sure you have a plastic container here. Empty water jug works really well. Stephanie's doing a real good job there. You're gonna hold that for me. Oh, and it can be a little messy. So now that we got this all wrapped up, got this water container tight here with the old oil, we got our oil filter wrapped up. We're gonna take this to an oil recycling place. Pretty much any Kragen's or Jiffy Lube will take these for you, discarded them properly. And now I think we're D-O-N-E motherfucking done.
Okay, so we've got about 2.5 minutes left on these burgers. Very good, Miss Joanne, on changing that oil, just as I thought you could. So we're gonna flip these bad boys over. They're looking good. We're gonna top them with a hefty piece of Munster cheese because it's nice and creamy. It'll go very well with the gorgonzola. Now we're gonna shut her down for another, I guess, 2 minutes and call her done. All right, y'all, these bitches are done. Look at that. Oh, the cheese. My God, that's gorgeous. These are going to be amazing. They're nice and solid. The gorgonzola is melted inside. They're topped with the Munster. These are some sexy ladies. Bada boom, bada bing.
64 Mercury Montclair. And it's really more of a demolition derby car than a hot rod. But it's big, has a 390 engine. It was really nice revving that engine when we came in. And the best thing about it is the power window goes down in the back.
Right on.
That back window comes down. A little button right underneath the steering wheel. It's like extra AC. Hi, I'm Vicki. I want to tell a little story about my Mercuries, my little pride and joys. This one is the newest addition to our little Mercury family. You should get a shot of this dash, because I love the dashes on these babies. These back windows roll down, and there's no bar between the two. So, you end up with this wide open space, and they're just incredible cars. I love it.
So it's the end of the night. We've got a little coals left in our barbecue. We went ahead and dumped the bottom grate, put all the coals underneath that. We're gonna grab a big old bowl. We're gonna dump a bunch of oil into the bowl and go ahead and dump a bunch of corn in here. Shut her back down, and in a minute, hopefully we'll have some popcorn. Another thing we have to do is melt our pot butter. Now here's the thing with cooking with pot, is that you have to use fat. THC bonds to fat. So I cooked this for about 45 minutes. I used an ounce of butter to a pound of pot. So it's just gonna be moderate. I don't wanna get everybody more fucked up than they already are. So I'm gonna throw this on my barbecue and melt it down a bit. It's gonna just start popping and all hell's gonna break loose. Here we go. Oh. Okay. All right, come on, mama. Ow! Wow, that's good. Some popcorn out of the pot butter.
Yeah, hot rod honey rocks.
Be surprised, it's pretty damn good.
Give me some whiskey, I'll sing you a song. Give me some time to go. Was on a black horse, I first heard my gun.
All right, it's been fun, y'all, but I gotta split. I'll catch you next time.
a platform, witness to